You do not need all that makeup. Now, what kind of thing is that for your very own personal beauty pro to say? To be brutally honest, you really don't need all that makeup. Now, don't get it twisted. You do need some makeup, but you do not need everything you see, everything someone is promoting, every new beauty product. You really only need a handful of top quality products and you'll be set to be pretty for any occasion in life.
So you thought I would let this slip. Thought you knew me so much better.
Hi pretty people, it's Crystal, your very own personal beauty pro from face to fragrance. True, I have tried and tested hundreds of beauty products, if not thousands at this point in time, but the reality, even for a pro like myself, is that if I had to, I would really only need a handful of beauty products that are really top quality. And I thought it would be fun to put that to the test just for you. And these are the beauty products I would keep if I could only keep 5. Let's start with a makeup product that I cannot do without, and I don't think anyone should, and that is foundation. A beautiful complexion is just the perfect canvas for any look, and even if you weren't doing much else, that alone would make you look pretty and polished. A good foundation never has to be heavy, obviously, but my personal foundation favorites are medium to full coverage. They really give you that perfection. And if you wanted a sheerer effect, you would just have to apply it with a lighter hand. Let's start with what I'm wearing today. NARS Natural Radiant Longwear Foundation. This is one of my all-time favorites. Beautiful for consumer or professional use. Gives you flawless coverage. It makes your complexion look absolutely impeccable, but it does not look like heavy foundation. The skin still has a skin-like effect. But what is absolutely exceptional about this is its long wear. This one I have put to the test. I've worn it on long haul flights when I had to get off the plane and hit the ground running. Tried and true. It's beautiful in person and it's beautiful on camera. This next one I haven't mentioned in a while, but it is one of my favorites in that luxury category, and that is La Mer's foundation. This was somewhat of my foundation of the week a couple of weeks ago, and I fell in love with it all over again. This gives you a perfect complexion, but it feels like nothing going on the skin. It's so feather-like that you wonder if it's actually going to be able to give you any coverage, but the coverage is gorgeous. Medium to full, it evens out the complexion. Your skin looks very high-end and expensive, and well, it should with the name like La Mer. Another foundation that is giving La Mer a run for its large sum of money is the Prada Reveal Foundation. This is absolutely beautiful. This and the La Mer have a lot of similar qualities. Lightweight, but still perfecting, and it looks skin-like, gorgeous on film and camera or in person. Beautiful everyday foundation, but also a beautiful evening foundation. You'll just look so pretty. It is weightless and it does really just reveal your true beauty. It evens out and unifies the complexion without looking like a mask. This is the beautiful Prada Reveal Foundation. This next one comes as no surprise if you know me at all. Estee Lauder's Double Wear Foundation, and I could not pretend that this is not one of my favorite foundations. It has a beautiful shade range. It's readily available. It's made for the everyday woman, but it really is a very high performing pro level formulation. This one is a flawless finish. This is going to really give you a high, medium, and a full coverage. This is when you want to look like an absolute doll. This is beautiful for special occasions or bride. It's great if you want to cover blemishes. One of the really nice features about this is how long it wears. It lasts all day. It lasts as long as you do. The beautiful Double Wear Stay in Place Makeup by Estee Lauder. Of course, there were several more that I wanted to share with you, but we said we only needed a few. So that's a nice selection of foundations from which to choose maybe 1 or 2 for life foundations. The next category is concealer, And in this case, I kept it simple and I just chose one. And this, by coincidence, is actually the concealer I'm wearing today. And that is the NARS Soft Matte Concealer. NARS is just a beautiful brand, particularly when it comes to complexion. This is a beautifully formulated concealer. I think I lean toward the cream concealers as my favorites, and that's probably because that's primarily what I work with in my pro work. This is a great one for your everyday girl or a pro. It's exactly what it says. It's a soft matte. It has a light, almost whipped texture, so it's almost like a firm mousse. Feels beautiful under the eye, but it also has the perfect consistency to cover other blemishes on the face or discoloration. It has that great balance, so it's not too emollient so that it's on the slip and slide when you put it on, but it's not drying either. I also don't have to powder this if I don't want to, so I love that about it as well. Once you've evened out the complexion with foundation and concealer, a bit of powder is always nice. Now, a little bit of dewiness breaking through halfway through the day, that's normal. The skin is supposed to produce some oil and some shine, but powder is really a pretty finishing touch, and it also looks beautiful in photos. As you can imagine, there are a ton of powders that I really do enjoy, but I've narrowed it down to just one in this category. I didn't want to overwhelm you with 5 different powders, and the one I have really been loving lately is MAC Mineralized Powder. This is a beautiful powder because it has a soft sheen, but it does have some mattifying properties. And so this is what I have actually used today. When you use it with a puff, you get more of that mattification. When you use this powder with a brush, you're definitely still going to see some sheen on the skin, which can also be very pretty. I love that this powder gives you a touch of softness without sucking the life out of the skin, so it still leaves a bit of the glow on the surface of the skin, that skin-like finish. Now, if you really have active oil glands, you may need a more firmer set than this one, but this is a really nice overall beauty powder. And once you've evened out that complexion, you just need a kiss of color, maybe in a bronzer or a blush, a touch of highlighter. And for that, technically, I've also managed to narrow it down to one product, though it does look like several. This is all from the same brand, and that is Hourglass. In particular, the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powders. I have been reaching for these in my pro kit and in my personal stash, and you'll definitely see these at the end of the year for some of my greatest hits. But Hourglass really does an impeccable formula when it comes to powders. The powders sit on the skin like a second skin. They create this soft, filtered effect on the skin, so your skin looks super smooth, but it still has this soft glow. They have so many pretty options. This one is really nice. This is one of their richer ones. Can be used as a setting powder, a bronzer, and a highlighter on a richer complexion. In my case, I use it for bronzer and I use it for contour. And when I want a beautiful glow on the cheek, I'll use this metallic one. It's absolutely beautiful. Another beautiful thing about these Hourglass ensembles are that they can be used on eyes. So there are many times when I'm in a hurry that I will create a beautiful eye look with just this palette. And they have an assortment of these. Just recently, they made these customizable. And this one also features bronzers, highlighters, and blushes. This one was from this past season, and I'm actually wearing the blush and highlighter from this. This is another one with that beautiful ambient lighting powder. Is what I would call your finishing powder. So you buff that all over as the very last step in your makeup. But choose a shade that most suits your complexion, and it gives you that beautiful angelic glow. If it's one category that really exploded to the point of being out of control when social media really grew in popularity, it is eyeshadows. It is so easy to get overwhelmed by eyeshadow, to the point where you don't know what to buy, or to the point where you just have too many. many. But I have narrowed it down to just a few eyeshadow brands that I feel are really at the top of the game right now. You don't need all of these, but if you just got one, I'd say you'd be pretty much set. One of the brands that has been very consistent as far as creativity, wearability, and formulation has been Natasha Denona. She has really put out a beautiful library of eyeshadow. She has large eyeshadow palettes, mid-size, and also smaller. Chooses really wearable themes. Sometimes she'll throw a bit of color in there as well. So there's something for everyone. I love most beyond the color selection is what matters most to me, and that is the eyeshadow formula. All eyeshadows are not created equal. I find that formula does matter whether you're a beginner or a pro. Good formula makes an eyeshadow user-friendly. It goes on the skin, it blends beautifully so it looks better and tends to last longer. There are a few that are my favorite, but I chose a couple that are really relatable that would be beautiful on a variety of complexions, and that is the I Need a Nude palette and the beautiful Golden palette. In the affordable category is Juvia's Place. They curate the most beautiful color combinations, and they really take into consideration the different formulas, matte and shimmer and shine. They apply and they blend really well, especially at this price point. It's a beautiful, accessible way to have up-to-date color stories in a really nice formula. This is their coffee shop palette, and it is a beautiful one-stop shop all occasion palette. Danessa Myricks is the queen of an innovative formula and some spectacular colors. I love that her brand doesn't shy away from colors. Many of her products also cross over to the everyday girl as well. I feel like you have to have at least one Danessa Myricks creation in your collection. If you ever have an opportunity to touch and feel them, definitely play with them and test them out. And speaking of queens, this is Makeup Mother. We all know and love Pat McGrath. This is one of her mothership palette, another professional makeup artist creation that's also consumer friendly. There's a large selection of these to choose from at this point. She also does some smaller options. Formulas do not disappoint as they are made to perform at a high luxury level. Those are the Pat McGrath eyeshadows. Even if you were not in the mood for eyeshadow on any given day, grooming the brows are a must. Benefits Brow Detailer and Brow Pen. These have climbed to the top of my favorites list. They are beautifully formulated, and the components they design that house the product are extremely well done. There are tons of brands that are doing brow pens and microfine brow pencils, but not everyone is doing it to this level. I said you don't need a lot of makeup, but one thing you do need is every lady's staple product, and that is lipstick. That's one of the things a lot of little girls first fall in love with when it comes to makeup. I know it was mine. It was easy to pick a lipstick that I just can't live without, and it's one I've been reaching for a lot more lately, and that is MAC Cosmetics. In particular, I recently reintroduced the shade Auburn lip pencil, and I have been loving this because I've been so in love with orange and coral. Even some pinks look pretty with this. Then my lip combo today, I absolutely love Flamingo, that beautiful bright popping coral. And another one that is beautiful alone or even with Flamingo is No Coralation. So that's a deeper, slightly burnt coral shade. That is beautiful. Either one of them can be worn on literally every complexion. You just need the right liner. They're beautiful alone for that beautiful matte finish, and of course they are yummy under gloss. And this No Coralation, this is beautiful now, but this will take you right into fall. I was trying to exercise restraint, so I didn't even get started on pulling lip glosses, but if you just needed one, I'm voting for MAC lip glass, MAC clear lip glass for life. So those are some of the products that a pro would pick if I could just have a handful of makeup products for life. Let me know what your for life products are. I'm excited to see what you say in the comments, and I'm excited to see you in the very next video. But until next time, keep it pretty.